Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the UnderReported podcast. If you would like to support and get your own Underrepped but always reppin' merch, you can do so at underreptmerch.com. That's Underrepped, UnderReppedMerch.com, and get yours today. Thanks. Hello and welcome to another episode of UnderReported. I am Melanie, your reporter, and on this podcast, I share stories of crimes committed against Black women and Black girls because they are underreported in the media. If you're new here, the way this works is I share a story with you, the audience, and I share it with someone in the studio. And today, I'm so excited to be sharing it with none other than Angel. I was about to say Angel Lakita Moore. Like, you have all the names.
I know, and it just won't stop.
Miss Margarita herself, Angel the actress, Angel the raptress.
Come on, period.
I love it. So thank you for being here. The way this works is I'm going to, again, tell the story to the audience and you, and you are more than welcome to chime in, ask questions.
Okay.
All of the things. Basically, you are the voice of the audience, right? And it's going to help, hopefully, me tell a just fuller story, and in case I forget anything. Now, I may not know the answer to every question, just because with research and especially crimes committed against Black women, there's not always a ton of information.
Right.
And so some questions I may not know the answer to, but you're still more than welcome. Ask away, and then we can kind of discuss.
I love it.
Got it?
Got it.
Let's get into it. Okay, so you know those regretful moments, the moments that if you had a chance to turn back the hands of time, you would have made a different choice? Well, today's heartbreaking case seems exactly like that. It's the story of a 17-year-old girl who left her house one evening and never made it back home. And the shock and heartbreak for the family not only comes from her untimely death, but also the circumstances surrounding it. This is the underreported story of Zion Foster. 17-year-old Zion Foster lives in East Point, Michigan with her 5 siblings and her mom. Her mom's name is Sierra. Zion is the oldest amongst her siblings, which naturally kind of means the younger ones look up to her, and she's actually a really great role model for them. She is really close to her family, including her mom, and she has a lot of major milestones coming up. She's actually a senior in high school, and so she has things like prom and graduation. She has her senior pictures, and she's even planning to get her license. So everyone is all excited and all kind of tapped in for these big events coming up for her. And on top of all of that, she has started her first job. So she's loving it and kind of embracing the benefits that come along with having a job. You get your own money, you get to buy things for yourself, maybe even for your siblings. So she's like enjoying this kind of newfound freedom.
Now, quick question. Where are we at in the U.S.?
She is in East Point, Michigan. That's where she lives.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So she's settling nicely into life as a working girl, making new friends with her coworkers, and enjoying her senior year. So we're going to pinpoint specifically, fast forward to the day, January 4th, 2022.
Okay.
The new year has just passed, and Zion has just gotten off of work at her job, which is a wing company. So she's just gotten off work. It's about 10 o'clock when she comes strolling out of the door, and her mother's boyfriend is there to pick her up, which was all planned. So, like, all good. She comes out, gets in the car, and he drives her home. According to a NBC News article by Veronica Fulton, when she gets home, her siblings and her mom all kind of like powwow in her room. Just not like a bad powwow. They're just like catching up on the day. How was the day? How was everything? You know, laughing, joking, do kind of what families do kind of as a decompress of the day. They don't hang out for too long. And it's not like really well into the night. And before they all leave the room and kind of head to their own rooms, Zion asks her mom if she minds if Zion hangs out with her favorite cousin, whose name is Jalen Brazier.
Okay.
Again, it's in the evening because she got off at 10. They've also now had this kind of catch-up session. So it is pretty late. But like I said, Jalen is Zion's favorite cousin. He's even saved in her phone as Favo. Her mom knows this. And even though the cousin is related to Zion on the dad's side, Sierra still knows him quite well, and she is comfortable with him. She trusts him. He is only 2 years older than Zion, and so she's like, yeah, it's fine. You can hang out with your cousin. Around 10:45, Zion grabs her small purse and her phone and heads out of the door. Sierra, her mom, her understanding was that the two were just going to head to Jalen's house to watch a show. But a little while after leaving, Zion sends an address, kind of like a drop pin, to her mom.
Okay.
And it's not her
His
cousin's house. Right.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm not sure what specifically Sierra took away from that. I'm assuming she just thought, like, okay, maybe they're going here instead. It didn't
Yeah.
seem like she was too stressed from what I could find.
Yeah.
And she has the address now, so she's,
She knows
seems
where-
pretty comfortable. If something goes down, I know where you're at.
Yeah.
So at 12:59, so a little while later, 12:59, Zion sends a text message to her mom that says OMW or on my way.
Yeah.
So her mom's like, cool, you're on your way home. All good.
Mm-hmm.
About 20 minutes later, Zion hasn't shown up at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sierra's starting to worry. She starts calling her and texting her, and she doesn't get any answers. So then worry starts to set in.
Of course.
Sierra takes no chances and goes to the East Point Police Precinct to file a missing persons report because she's like, where is my daughter?
Right. She should have been here, and she's been responsive to me all
Exactly.
Yeah,
Up until
all
this point.
evening. Yeah.
So I don't have the exact time frame that Sierra went to the police station. Everything I read was like pretty immediate that she went. And now you're probably thinking, but she was with her cousin Jalen. What happened to him? Did mom text Jalen, call Jalen? Like, what's
Yeah.
up with him? So according to Sierra, on January 5th, so remember this starts on January 4th.
yeah.
And so on January 5th, Jalen calls Sierra, Zion's mom,
Mm-hmm.
and says, I don't know why Zion lied and put me into this. I haven't seen your daughter in years.
Oh, wow.
So Sierra is confused because, number one, does that mean Zion lied and she actually never went with her cousin? She actually went with somebody else?
Oh, wow. Who is Favo in her phone?
And all these questions now, like, what is happening?
Oh.
But then Sierra's also confused because she thinks, why would he say I haven't seen her in years when we just saw him not too long ago? So years feels a little extreme.
Right. Why would you go that far?
Why would you go that far? But also, okay, regardless, I don't know where my daughter is. I need to find her. So she starts spiraling and thinking, of course, the absolute worst. So by January 10th, local news stations have begun reporting on the case, and they are headlining the story with what Zion's family has come to believe is the truth, which is that Zion is being held somewhere against her will. And more specifically, they begin to fear that maybe she's being sex trafficked because who did she go with?
Right.
If it was this man, she hasn't answered. This is unlike her. Like, where is she? And so they begin to think maybe she's being sex trafficked. So the details in the news reports that are released start to say that Zion was picked up from her house by some mystery man on the evening of January 4th and never heard from again. Now, I do want to call out here that a private investigator is hired pretty quickly in this case, and it's discovered that a neighbor's ring doorbell is positioned in a way that captures the front of Sierra's house, including her driveway, which of course is like, great, we need to look at this footage to see what car picked who picked her up. Did she get in the car? Was there a struggle? All of that, right? So in reviewing the camera footage, it's discovered that a white Acura pulled up around 10:30 p.m. on the evening of January 4th. Now, the car doesn't park in Sierra's driveway or Zion, right? It doesn't park in their driveway. It parks in the neighbor's driveway. But when Zion comes out, she gets into that car.
Now, does the cousin own a car like that?
So let me finish.
Okay.
Good question. So, of course, investigators look into the car and who owns the car. On the flip side of this, while all of this is happening, Zion's family, her friends, and the police are doing everything they can to try and find her, in addition to like the private investigator, right, doing their kind of research. On January 17th, all of them are out canvassing the area, trying to see if there's any clues, anything that would lead them to where Zion is. And they're talking to news reporters. And on that day, Sierra mentioned that she's even gone to the address that Zion texted her.
Yeah.
Looking for her daughter, obviously. And she's quite surprised when she knocks on the door and it kind of opens. And inside there's nothing and no one. So then she's like, what is this address that was sent to me? Why did she send this to me?
Yeah.
So through tears on that day, Sierra pleads to the news camera. She pleads for her baby to come back. She begs that if anyone has seen or heard anything to please call the police. She's like begging, I just want my daughter back.
Yeah.
2 days after that search, police hold a press conference, and during that conference, they announce that Jalen Brazier, who is Zion's cousin, is now a person of interest in the case, as he, through their investigation, is confirmed to be the last person that was seen, that saw Zion alive. You see, the private investigator, to the question that you were asking, was able to determine that white Acura that pulled up to Zion's neighbor's house that night was indeed Jalen Brazier's car. And after surveilling him, so they find it's his car, they find the car, they start surveilling him and the car for a few days and confirm, like, it wasn't stolen. Nobody had it that night. It seems to be his vehicle. So they're following him, hoping that maybe he's going to lead them to the whereabouts of Zion, but they end up finding nothing. And so they just go back to the police. And so they have this press conference that says he is a person of interest, and they want him to come to the station. Shortly after, he comes to the police station, turns himself in. And then on January 22nd, so a couple days later, he is officially taken into custody in connection with the disappearance of his cousin, Zion Foster. So Jalen Brazier gets charged with lying to police because what they discover, obviously, they asked him about the story. And of course, he tells her mom that he hasn't seen her in quote, years.
Right.
And so he gets charged with lying to police in connection to the disappearance of his cousin. A few months later, on March 30th, Jalen Brazier, who he himself is a father of two, so he's pretty young, father of two. And on March 30th, he accepts a plea deal for the felony charge of lying to police. At the sentencing hearing, Jalen tearfully apologizes to Zion's mom and their entire family. And then he tells his side of the story about what happened.
Well, when she died, it was just random. From my end of it.
What do you mean?
I was terrified. Literally from that point on, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't in the right state of mind for anything. And I turned myself in. They didn't present me with anything. After getting my thoughts together.
So did you explain how she passed?
I don't know exactly how she passed, what caused her to pass. I just know 1 minute she was cool, she was fine, she laid back for a minute. Next thing I know, she was dead. I don't know what caused it. I did not cause it or anything like that. I reacted stupidly off of fear and panic like I've never felt before in my life. Literally.
Well, I mean, people are sitting around and somebody just passes. I mean, did you think about calling 911 or something like that?
No, not at the time. We were smoking. We were on marijuana as well. So my mental state wasn't in any logical spectrum. I was just immediately just terrified. That's the only words I can use to describe the moment.
Are you telling me that you're stoned, she's stoned, you think she dies, and then you dispose of the body? Just like that? That was your choice?
I sat for a minute and I didn't know what to do. I just did not know what to do. It's like...
I mean, the first thing that came to your mind, I'm trying to understand with the limited information I have, that this person passed away in your presence, and your first thought is, well, I got to get rid of the body.
My first thought was how bad it looked to start with. It's how do I explain what happened? I don't know why she died or what it caused her to die. And just a lot of possibility just popped in my head, and I was just reacting off of just innate fear. I don't know. Literally, I don't do anything. I just didn't know what to do. Literally, I literally did not know what to do. I sat for at least 10 minutes sitting there. What do I do? Who do I call? My kids are upstairs. We just got into this place after struggling for 2 years to get it, and everything is falling down.
I won't have any conversation in this court.
And I wish I could take it back. I would have called the ambulance, called her mom, because her mom is so sweet. Her mom is so sweet. And I just knew. I wish I could take it back. Nobody had been in the situation. At the very least, they'd be able to be okay, this happened, confirm this. And everybody has some sort of peace right now, But just didn't know what to do. It's not something, like in life, you try to mentally prep for a lot of situations. But when one that you just would never have even thought to happen just happens. And you're like, wow, immediately the first thing comes to your mind is everything about to lose, how it's about to affect your kids, your life in general. And then after that, how it's flipped when whoever, it's like play telephone and change many times. Facebook, everything, just a lie hitting me at once. So I had to just take time and try to get my thoughts together. Because I was on panic mode ever since that happened. Her mom at one point talked to me and I couldn't bring myself, but your daughter just died. What do I do? And I can't even explain it. What happened? I just can tell you my honest reaction.
He says he can't believe he did that instead of calling for help, and that he wishes he could take it all back. But as you and I both know, choices like that cannot just be taken back. Before being sentenced to 23 months in jail for the crime of lying to police, Zion's mom reads her victim impact statement, and it's quite long. But to fully grasp the pain that Sierra has, and I'm sure continues to experience, I just want to read it in its entirety.
She just turned 17 in November. She shares her location with me everywhere she goes. She asks if she can go wherever I would allow her to go. There are yeses and there are nos. Because as a parent, you want to protect your babies. I have 6 kids. Zion is my oldest. All of my children look up to her. We were supposed to be planning her prom, her dress and colors. I'm still getting emails from the school right now for graduation pictures and just graduation. And now we can't do any of that because she asked me if she could go with Jalen. And I said yes, because I trust him. And I thought he would be responsible. But the fact is that it seems to me like he was hiding. He didn't pull up in my driveway. He pulled up in my neighbor's driveway. And he's pulled up in my driveway before. We've given each other a hug. I've spoken to him. He came that night and he picked my baby up by pulling into my neighbor's driveway and then parking in the front of my other neighbor's driveway. He called me. I didn't call him. He called me on the 5th when my baby didn't come home. He called me to say, I don't know why Zion would lie and put me into this. I haven't seen her in years. I haven't seen her in months. And I'm like, what? It wasn't too long ago that I saw you. And even knowing that my baby has been in contact with him, I kept going to his house. I just wanted him to tell me the truth. I stayed up for nights, for days, panicking, and being so fearful. God, please don't let my baby be dead. Please, God, don't let my baby be just thrown away like she's nothing. These are the things that I prayed. I was fasting, my children not getting sleep, not eating, can't go to work. I'm a single parent. Everything that I do is for my children. Every ounce of money and time or whatever and energy It's for them. It's to make sure that they're good. It's to make sure that they're surrounded by people that love them and protect them. And so, yes, Zion, you can go with your cousin who you have in your phone as Favo because he's your favorite on that side of the family. And to say, you panicked. Then why didn't you think about my baby? What if you were so high you didn't know she was alive? And you just threw her in a dumpster in the cold without a coat? And if that's the case, that means that my baby was crushed in the process of how trash is taken and picked up and placed in a landfill where she will never be found. I will never know. I will never know. I won't get to see my baby again. And as far as the many times that I went to his house during the search, Your Honor, he helped me post flyers of my baby in his neighborhood, on the corner of his house, the street that he lives. He told me, along with his mother, I would not lie to you. I know this has got to be really fearful for you. But I'm telling you, I have not seen her. I have not been around her. His mother said, my baby wouldn't lie to me. And so now everybody is suffering. My children are suffering. And they have to grow up knowing that their cousin did something this awful. And that their big sister isn't there anymore. And we have so many events and so many life changes that are happening now. My son came to his house and he didn't recognize him, but my son was so angry and he just knocked at the door and was like, is Zion here? Is Zion here? You could have came and said something. You could have called 911. You could have called your mom. You could have called relatives that are all around. Somebody could have helped. Somebody could have known something. But it seems like more than just a panic. It seems like you did something or you gave something. Because why, if you love her, if she says that she loves you, and she always does, and you say that you love her, then why? How is it that someone that can love someone could just dispose of them in trash like she's nothing? And then come with me and post flyers and reach out to me and tell me, I don't know. I know you're looking for Zion, but I don't know. I haven't seen her. I haven't spoke to her, and I don't know why she would use me. Why lie? This is something that can't be repaired. She cannot be replaced. This cannot be rectified. And we will never have closure. And as much as I love you guys, as much as I love that family, you have caused such distinction that it's hard to trust family at all. And now my babies are even more isolated. Because how can I trust family when family is one who did this? I will never forgive you, Jalen. And it may not matter, but I hope that your children grow up without you so that they can be better.
Thank you.
And that was the full victim statement from her mother. After that, Jalen was sentenced to 23 months. He ended up serving 10 months for the lying to police charge. And then in June of 2023, so not too long ago, he got another charge. On June 16th, 2023, Jalen Brazier was charged with the first-degree murder in connection with the death of 17-year-old Zion. And he is currently awaiting that trial.
So how are they able to charge him with the murder if they still haven't found the body?
So I personally imagine that I don't know how that will play out, but at the hearing for the plea for the lying to police charge, one of the attorneys kind of alluded to what even Sierra says in the victim impact statement, which was, you don't know that she was dead because we don't have basically they have no way to prove she was and no way to prove that she wasn't. And so if he in fact put her in the trash alive, then that is their angle, essentially.
Okay. All of the after hearing the mother's statement, my mind went, oh wait, what if this is something else? Because that makes sense. Like, what if for me now, I'm like, what if she is alive and is being trafficked somewhere? That's just crazy. Like the fact that she picked up on that, the fact that he parked in the wrong driveway, that's on purpose. The fact that he went through the task of texting the mom. Where's the cell phone? Did he put it on the body?
I mean, they were not really able to, from what I could read, they were not really able to recover that small purse she left with. She didn't leave. Her mom did say repeatedly that she didn't leave with a coat because they were just planning to go to his house. It's January. It's in Detroit.
Why would
Michigan.
Michigan without a coat?
Yeah.
That's all crazy. There's definitely something ain't right in the milk. There's some other piece of this that is missing, and I think it's bigger than what anybody could really imagine, because the fact that they couldn't even find her body, and it's not like they're emptying out these landfills.
Right.
Like there would be remnants of a human corpse. Even with the way they crush trash, those bones are not going to all be broken up into such small pieces to where you can't. Yeah.
And they searched for 5 months. The whole thing is so heartbreaking. And who knows? I mean, her body has not been found, so who knows what actually her actual cause of death is. But it was just such an unfortunate and heartbreaking situation, for that to happen so within her family. It was her favorite cousin,
Yeah.
And so they have no answers. So
oh man.
Prayers of love and strength to the family of Zion Foster and to everyone that loved her. I hope I've shared her story in a way that is respectful to her family and her legacy. As always, thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you, Angel, for letting me share Zion's story with you.
Thank you for telling me.
Until next time.